everyone, and welcome to the Stitch Sessions. We have a stitch tutorial for you this week. If you are new here, I'm Karen, and I love all things to do with crafting with crochet. And I'm so glad that you decided to join me today. And to my regular crochet friends, welcome back. So today we are going to work on the diamond mesh stitch. This is the easiest stitch that you could ever do. And it's funny with this neon pink, this is giving me 80s vibes. Who out there used to have the fingerless lace gloves? That's what it's reminding me of. So the mesh stitch, actually, you would have seen this done in a recent pattern. If you guys were following along in my Shall We Crochet series for this year, November's shawl, the Rowana shawl, we used the diamond stitch to trim out the edges of that shawl. And so if it looks a little familiar to you, we have used this before. I love the texture of this shawl. This is great actually for summer projects if you're doing things like cover-ups or even doilies and things like that. Now, I did use a medium 4-weight yarn for this tutorial just to kind of make it a little bit more visible so you can see what's happening there. If you were to do something for a summer project, of course, I would recommend you using a lighter weight yarn. This stitch is actually also really fun to make cushy blankets, believe it or not. So if you went up to a bulky 5 yarn and using this stitch, just chain stitches and slip stitches, it would create such a really cozy blanket. So lots of uses for this stitch. It's really pretty and it has a little bit of stretch to it, as you can see. And it's very, very beginner friendly. So let's just get to it. Let's learn how to create this stitch. Okay, so for this tutorial, I am using some scrap yarn I have here. It is a medium 4-weight yarn, and it's this neon pink color. And the hook size I'm going to be using is a 5.5 millimeter hook, which is also known as an I or a size 9. Now, whatever yarn size you use, just make sure that the hook matches the yarn size. And for any projects, as always, make sure you have a yarn needle and a pair of scissors to snip your yarn and sew in your ends. So let's get started on this stitch. Okay, so we're going to begin by placing a slip knot on our hook. And you want to stitch up a chain that will give you an even number. So I'm going to chain up 24. 1. And there is 24 chains. So that's an even number. And now we're going to begin creating our mesh stitch. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to find the 6th chain from your hook. So remember, we never count the loop that's on the hook. And we are going to skip 5 chains down and then mark the 6th chain. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and there we go. That's the 6th chain. Into the 6th chain, I'm going to slip stitch. And so that's going to give you a loop that looks like that. And now what you're going to do is you're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. You're going to skip the next chain, and into the following chain, you're going to slip stitch. And you've created another loop just like that. And we're going to repeat that. 1, 2, 3. Skip the next chain, and into the following chain, you're going to slip stitch. And this is what you're going to repeat all the way down to the end of your chain. So again, 1, 2, 3. Skip a chain, and into the next, we slip stitch. So you're getting some loops that look like that. So go ahead and finish the repeat to the end of the chain, and I'll meet up with you to take you on to the next row. So I'm just coming up to the end of the row, and I've just done one of my last loops here, and I have 2 chains left. So you should have 2 chains. So you're going to skip the next one, and into the last one, whoops, got to chain 3 first. So you're going to skip the next chain, and into the last chain you will slip stitch. And this completes row number 1. So you've got your loops looking like that. And now we're ready to go on to row number 2, and that's going to be our repeat from here on out. So you chain 3, 1, 2, 3. You turn your work. And now we have these loops to work into, which makes life a whole lot easier. Okay, so into this first loop, we're just going to insert our hook and we're going to slip stitch. Just like that. Okay, so you've got the loop there and the loop from the previous row. So we will chain 3 again, 1, 2, and 3, and we find the next loop. And into the next loop, we slip stitch there. And that is what we're going to do all the way down to the end of this row. So chain 3 again, into the next loop, we slip stitch. And it's as easy as that. Okay, so I have one loop left. So I just slip stitch into that one. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to go into that loop and I'm going to slip stitch. And row number 2 is complete. Don't worry, it's going to curl a little bit in the beginning for the first few rows. It's just because it needs to get itself established. So if I just take out my hook here, you can kind of already see the diamond shape taking form there. See that? That right there is the diamond shape. It might be a little tricky to see. It's only been row number 2. But as we continue doing subsequent rows, you're going to see the pattern come out. So that is the row repeat. So you just continue repeating this pattern. So as I move on to the next row, I always start by chaining 3. 1, 2, 3. I turn my work, and right into that very first loop, I slip stitch. Chain 3. Into the next loop, I slip stitch. So now you can really see as we go into row number 3. Isn't that easy? Easy peasy. So I'm going to go ahead and do several more rows just so that you'll be able to see the full effect of the mesh stitch, and I'll meet back up with you in just a little bit. Okay, so I have completed a total of 8 rows, and now you can see, remember it was bending down a lot? It's straightening itself out. And so now you can really see the prominence of the diamond shape. And that's it. Like I said, probably one of the easiest stitches you'll ever learn. All you need to know is your chain and your slip stitch, and you are ready to rock. So I hope you found that very easy. If you have any questions, you know you guys can always leave me a comment in the comment box down below, or you can email me directly at info@crochetcrafty.com. And don't forget, come visit me on the website at crochetcrafty.com. Lots of fantastic goodies for you guys. Make sure to sign up for the monthly newsletter because I gift you a free written pattern every month. So lots of fantastic stuff there. Come say hi to me on the socials. Don't forget, I'm on Instagram and Facebook at The Stitch Sessions. All right, guys, that's it for today's tutorial. Remember, I upload a brand new tutorial every Wednesday morning. So have an amazing day. Happy crocheting. Take good care of yourselves, and I will see you guys in the next session. Bye-bye.